right, what's going on? Hi there. All right, welcome to the American Movie Podcast. This is your host, Matthew Benjamin. What's going on? Okay, really excited to talk about this topic today. It is Ozark. Ozark, it's an original Netflix series, and it's a 10-episode series. Some of them range in between a little under an hour, and some of them go even up to, I think, an hour and a half. Now, this series was great. Okay, I don't want to... This is going to be a non-spoiler. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't want to tell anything that gives you too much insight into the series, because it's not for the faint of heart. It's super dark, and if you're sensitive, this is not going to be one for you. It's super similar. How I describe it would be, I would say it's a redneck version of Breaking Bad, but I enjoyed it more than Breaking Bad to the utmost, because it wasn't, Jason Bateman did an incredible job, okay? He did an incredible job. And he wasn't this, Walter White ended up progressing into being like a goofy looking character. And this guy was just, he looked like a normal guy. You definitely wouldn't think he was up to anything like seriously, doing any harm. So that was number one. It was more realistic. Number two, he was put in this circumstance under different circumstances than Walter White. Walter White progressed into being this horrible, callous dude and making ill choices, making all of these drugs and doing all this stuff. And this was not the case. This guy was much more likable in this character. The character is Marty Bride, or Bird. I can't remember. It's Bride or Bird. And so let me give you the plot summary real quick, and I might give a few insights into maybe episode 1, but it's not going to be anything that's going to spoil too much of the entire thing. But I want to give you some sort of synopsis of the first episode, just so you kind of get a depth on what is to come in this, and if you're actually going to like this movie or not, or this series or not. So, okay, so the breakdown is Marty's in Chicago. He's a family man. He's a financial advisor, and he has his own firm with a partner. Now, if you don't want to know anything more about this and just want to check it out for yourself, I would turn it off. I'm not going to go into too much spoils, but you've been warned. 3, 2, 1, spoil. All right. So the firm, he's working with a partner, and the partner is skimming some of the money. But for the person that he actually works for is the second largest drug cartel in Mexico. So he's actually performing these ill-favored duties by the law for this drug cartel, and they were skimming off the top. And so this drug cartel has this inclination that he's getting swindled. So he questions the firm that he's working for, and lo and behold, that they've been doing it, and he finds out. So Marty is put in a bind. So he makes a deal with this drug cartel guy. And while he's living in Chicago, the drug cartel guy was like, I will let you live, but you have 48 hours to get me the money that you guys just skimmed off the top, which is 8 million bones. 8 million bones is what they skimmed off the top in, I think, a matter of 3 years or something. So he has the job to get $8 million in 48 hours. And then he also strikes up a deal on how he's going to make him so much money that you have to keep me alive. You have to keep me alive, Mr. Drug Cartel Man, because you don't understand how much, how would you say it? How much tourist influx there's going on inside of the Ozarks. So that was the plot, pretty much the plot baseline. So you want so he wants you to take $8 million out of your bank account, give him that, and then you get to go down to Ozark for a matter of 5 years and make me $500 million. You have to launder and clean everything. $500 million because of the just the high traffic Ozarks gets due to tourism. And it has more shoreline than the East or West Coast. So that was pretty much what he was trying to give as a deal. And so that is the baseline of it. And Marty Bird, I can't remember if it's Bride or Bird, but he's a really interesting character. And Jason Bateman actually did a really good job portraying him. I think I think he was much more believable. I thought you never see Jason Bateman as like this dramatic, dark dude, and he actually did an incredible job with it. He did a great job with it, and you actually feel for the guy, and he's just in this bind, and he's not making these active choices. He's just kind of going along for the ride with these impediments along the way to make these businesses and the choices to make all this money to like just save his life and his family's life, or else this drug cartel guy is just going to murder everybody that he knows. So this was the plot overall. I loved it. I think it was more believable than like Breaking Bad. I don't want to keep bringing it back to Breaking Bad, but it's so similar in circumstances. And I've heard it compared to it a lot. So it's just like I kind of want to confront that topic, and it's like, well, he's in a circumstance where he's breaking the law. So it's kind of like that, I guess. And but yeah, the plot was so concise. So like there didn't seem like there was such wasted time. There was no wasted time. Everything was punctual. Everything hit to a T, and there was long withstanding arcs throughout the entire duration of this, like the episodes, the 10 episodes. And then there was medium arcs that hit between 1 or 2 episodes. And then there was really quick arcs with characters and plots and storylines and behind the scenes storylines that are trying to, like, everybody's trying to infiltrate the plan. So it's like I'm trying to be as discreet about the plot as possible from now on, because I want you guys to experience this cool series. Like this is definitely the best Netflix series that I've seen. It's so good. And like I said, it's gritty and it's callous, and there's just horrible choices made, and there is a little bit of gore, and there's definitely fatality. So if it's not for the faint of heart, like I said, it's so unique in the way that it's put in the Ozarks, and the Ozarks is actually kind of like its own element too. It reminded me of what was that series with Matthew McConaughey, True Detective? It reminded me of that, where the background was sort of like a character itself, and it kind of gave it this like weird ominous allure. It's like it was really cool to see, and the Ozark kind of had that. And then the inhabitants of the Ozarks are just insane, and like he comes across so many impediments, like, and it's just so unique. It's so good. So I highly recommend the Ozarks. Like, you got to check that out. It's I went through the entire season, watched every episode, and it's so good. There was only one episode where I think it was like episode 7 or 8, and there was some backstory and there was some transitions, and I just didn't care for it because it broke the formula that they were already pretty much in a groove of. So it just kind of broke things up, and it was a little sporadic in the storytelling, but that's neither here nor there because I'll make that a huge exception, because this story was really, really cool. And I don't know with how everything plays out, I'm suspecting that they'll keep going. I think there's going to be another Marty Bird or Bride, or I'm going to look that up real quick. Birdie or Bride, whatever, actually. But yeah, he was a really cool character. And then Laura Linney, who plays his wife, she did an exceptional job too. And there was an inhabitant at the Ozarks, and I think it's Julia Garner. It's a young lady, and she did an exceptional job too. Like, she's very believable, and they just look like these riffraff that just like just trek the Ozarks. So it's really interesting to see, and it was just a cool plot. Like, everything was super just on point to the T. Everything was crisp. There was no excess. It was really, really neat to see that. I think it was one of the most fast-paced, and within an hour there's so much storyline that was put into it, but it didn't seem overwhelming or condensed. It was like the perfect amount of condensing of story. So it was really fascinating to see. So yeah, I highly recommend this show. It's absolutely bonkers. Like, there's so much stuff that goes on in there, man. So yeah, I would definitely check it out. It's Ozarks. It's streaming right now on Netflix. It's so killer. You got to let me know if you want me to expand on these the episodes and go episode by episode or talk about it more. So link or like and let me know if in the comments if you want me to talk about it more and expand on it and have a conversation. Let me know if you're going to watch this or not. You definitely have to expect some gore and some death and stuff like that. So it's very dark. So watch it at your own risk. I thought it was amazing. Great performances all around, and just the entire series worked. It was so good. So I'm really excited for Netflix to expand on this story and just keep doing what they're doing. They're really nailing it right now. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Matthew Benjamin with the American Movie Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Audible. And if you want a 30 days, I'm pretty sure you get a book with it. I use Audible every day. You can get a free trial with www.audibletrial.com/American. This podcast is also brought to you by Own It. If you need to get anything together in your life, exercise, health, cognition, On It's the way to go. Audible. Well, you should do that too, but On It's the way to go if you want to get your exercise game going. So check that out if you'd like. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're going to watch Ozark. Loved it. Head over heels with it. What am I talking about? Head over heels. And yes, so thank you so much. Let me know if you're going to watch it. Bye.